Hey everybody, this is John and welcome to the free video. So let's first look at Bitcoin. A lot of questions on that today. So got a little frothy today in the futures, and whenever we see these top hats or frothy marks, we're looking for a reversion back to the mean, and we did get that fairly quickly. So the next question from there is, well, where can Bitcoin go? And typically on something like this, I'd look for just a reversion back to the daily mean. So that would take us to about 14,425, give or take. That's a healthy move from here, okay? Now, are we going to get there? I don't know. I just do know if we get there, I'd buy it. So this is one thing where with Bitcoin, we definitely have been scaling out. I'll probably hold on to a couple of these forever. But the idea here is that we've had this nice move, and it is ripe for our first pullback, and we want to keep an eye on that. And then the two things that we're looking at into the end of the year is, first of all, we do have some pretty massive divergences setting up. And the put-call ratio, this is the lowest level that the 10-day moving average of the put-call ratio has been since December of 2015. And January of 2016 was pretty nasty to the downside. And a similar setup happened, of course, in December of 2014, and then January of 2016 was pretty nasty. So we're seeing the exact same setup now. So I'm just thinking of this, with the way this works is that's a ceiling, essentially a ceiling on the S&Ps, and then we're just kind of looking for kind of violent sector rotation, okay, and how to take advantage of that. So what is sector rotation? Sector rotation typically happens near the end of a month and the beginning of a month. And so we saw violent sector rotation out of technology, okay, and into financials when we got to the end of the November month, all right? And I'm anticipating we're going to see something happening very similarly with XLY, okay, and I'll talk about that here in a second. But you can see that while this sector rotation was happening, anybody that was really focused on tech was just getting destroyed, but anybody in the financials was doing awesome. And then the S&Ps overall were kind of quiet, like they ground their way higher, because even though financials dropped 5%, tech dropped like 5 or 6%, financials were up, and so that kind of offset the S&Ps. All right, so if it's one of those where you happen to be in financials, great. But if you're sitting long tech, it was a tough couple of days. And so part of the key with this is pinpointing kind of when these sector rotations are going to happen. And for XLK, it was screaming loud and clear, we are at a point where algos are shorting this market. Look for at least a quick reversion to the mean, which we got, and we even got more with that with some of the sector rotation. Now, as I'm doing this today, we don't have any of those signals. And then you can see here in the financial sector, we actually got the reverse, top hats, I guess they're called bottom hats, to show that, there was some accumulation heading into the financials, and get ready for a pop to the upside there. So this happens across different sectors, and we always want to know like which ones it's going to happen to next, because that's what's going to set up the best trades, right? So let's take a look at that in more detail. Okay, so one of the things I like to look for in these kind of double top hats, and you'll see these pop up here, is that, first of all, it is a situation where you're looking for a reversion back to the mean, okay? And so here you can see in NVIDIA, we do pull back and sell off fairly quickly. And here we sell off a little choppy, but we eventually get there. Here, a little choppy, but we eventually get there. And then here, and this is kind of what we're looking for, because ultimately the signal opens up the door for a move that if we can break this daily 21, we can get to the weekly 21. Okay, and that's the big, kind of the big payoff there. And so the question is of course, as we're heading into the end of the year, are there any other sectors or stocks that are setting up like this? And if so, what's the best way to take advantage of them? So here you could say, okay, I could buy some puts and you make some money. And here you could buy some puts. And it's a little dicey, right? We actually just kind of chop and dip. So here, selling a call credit spread actually would have been a better choice. Here, probably the same thing. Yeah, you got a little bit of a put thing here, but obviously here, holding on to those puts would have been great. And so the question is what's the best way to structure that trade, and is there another one like that setting up again? And the thing that I like here is XLY. And XLY is the only sector right now in all the spider sectors that's giving these multiple essentially reversion to the mean conformations, meaning that funds are now going in and taking the opposite side here of everybody who's buying this. And when this goes, then Amazon goes, Home Depot goes, McDonald's, all that kind of stuff too. And so what we're looking for here in January with the rebalancing is that we get a quick move at least back to the 21 at 96.60, and that's not a huge move from 98.72, but also we could potentially get to 92.57. So there's a couple of ways to take advantage of this, and keep in mind that if this goes, all of the key stocks within the sector go. So the biggest stock is Amazon, all right, and then you got Comcast and Home Depot, McDonald's, Disney, I mean Netflix, you know, they're all kind of in there, and I kind of like this basket idea, so you know, you don't get kind of thrown off by news on any one item. And so how do we take advantage of this? So one thing I like here, because it's rare that you can do a butterfly this far away from the current price, but we've got it because it's beyond the expected move. And if it's beyond the expected move, the market makers price it in cheap, okay, because they don't want to take that trade. It's beyond the expected move. It's not going to happen. But what we know is when you have those multiple top hats, then the odds suddenly increase exponentially of a greater than expected move. Okay, so on something like this, we could set up a January monthly butterfly where we sell 10 of the 95 puts, or it's buy a butterfly. So you're long 10 of the 95s, short 20 of the 92.50s, and buy 10 of the 90s, okay, 9-cent debit. And if we look at this on a 10-lot trade, our maximum risk on this is going to be $90, okay, against a potential profit of $2,400, all right? Those are the kind of trades as we go into January that we want to continue to set up, all right? Because if they don't work, hey, I don't know about you guys, $90, that's spending commissions on some trades, so I'm fine risking 90 bucks, and also just kind of looking through where are the other opportunities like that are setting up. Okay, so if you're interested in these strategies, and we've got a couple more on this, we are wrapping up our class on this tomorrow, Wednesday the 20th, and this is going to go into our store, and once this goes into the store, these prices disappear. So if you're interested in both the strategies and the tools, like that top hat indicator and a couple of other ones, this is your last chance to get into it before we stick it in there. So if you go to simplertrading.com/ETF, you will get, under the Pro Series, our ETF course, Options Basics if you're newer to options, the multi-squeeze indicator, and then the multi-squeeze strategy, which I teach. For the Elite, you get all that, which is great, and we've had some awesome trades with that during the live trading, but that top hat indicator is proving to be everybody's favorite by a long shot. That's when we're also setting up these out-of-the-money butterflies that you saw, where we're risking, you know, in that case, $90 to make thousands of dollars, right? And these trades are setting up all over the place. And we go through and talk about the strategy as well, and it includes 3 live trading sessions. Our next live trading session and last one is Wednesday the 20th, so if you see this and you want to join us, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, if not, all of these sessions are recorded, and then you'll still get copies of the indicator. All right, this is a lot of fun, super excited, heading into 2018 with these tools and these strategies, and you know, it's going to be an awesome year. You guys have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you at the next update.